Hi, hello, how are you? This is Harish Kulkarni. Uh, I am basically a Java developer, so of about 11 years of experience. So I'm going to start a new channel about the education system, which basically I want to start something called Java. So let's. So first of all, I just want to start with Java, and then let's see how it goes based on the input which I get from the students. I'm going to explore about a few topics. So let's first start with the Java and few topics. So if you just Google out, so what is Java and Java features, right? Why you want to learn Java? So if you look at, so what it is, Java is a high-level object-oriented programming language. Okay, and the features of Java, it says that oops is a basic thing which a Java developer has to learn. Okay, and it says that it is platform independent, simple, robust, secure, multi-threaded, high performance, dynamic, and rich standard library and community. And these are the features of the Java 8. Okay, so if you guys know, Java is basically releasing the features every now and then. Okay, and in industry, basically the industry is using around Java 17 and Java 8 is the basic industry which industry is using Java 8 features, and we are using Java 17 features. Okay, so if I tell you the core features, okay, so under the oops, okay, what are the features we have under the oops? So first of all, if you want to learn what is Java, right, what is Java, let's pick what is Java. Okay, Java says that it's a popular high level object oriented programming language, okay, which you just run once, write once, and you run anywhere. That is ORA. You run once and you execute anywhere, allowing code to run on any device with something called Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so basically, it was first developed by the Sun Microsystems. Okay, and it's built everywhere from on Android apps everywhere. Okay, so if you just look into the introduction to Java, right? So it says that Java programming, oops, right? So Java supports ops concepts to create modular and reusable code. So if you look the Java code, right? It looks something like this. Okay. So I'm using an IntelliJ. This is basically uh, IntelliJ helps the students to write the code easier. Okay. So basically, I'm just creating one sample student class. Okay. So how does the Java compiles the code? So if I just say, what is this PVSM? It is nothing but public static void main. And to compile this, okay. So if I want to print something on the system, right? So I have to write system dot out dot println. Okay. I say hello world. So basically, I'm just trying to print hello world, and let's proceed further more on this. So when I compile this, so what is meant by compiling? Okay, I'll tell you what is meant by compiling and what is meant by running. Okay, so when you check here, it has printed hello world on the screen. Okay, so what is the meaning of compilation and what is the meaning of running the compiled code? Okay, so when you just write inside something class, right? So I just want to start something called, so I just copy this to a notepad. Okay. So what does it says here? It says that we are first, what we have written here, we have written something called a student class. Okay. So what is a class? Class is a keyword. Okay. Class is a keyword. And what is public? It is a access modifier. And what is static? Static is a keyword. So there are around some keywords available in Java, which I will tell you more in detail. So when I just proceed, so static is also a keyword. Okay. And what is this student? Student is a it's a class name. So student class is a keyword. Student is a class name. Public, this is nothing but an access modifier. I'll tell you what is access modifiers. Okay. So there are public, private, and protected keywords. Okay. And there's something called static keyword. I'll tell you what is static keyword. And void is nothing but, so this is a return type. So in this case, you're not returning anything. And main is the method name. And these are the string arguments. Okay, string array. So what happens is, when Java reads this, so to basically to run any Java code, we need something called a main method. Okay, this main method, when JVM, so basically Java runs on the concept of Java virtual machine. Okay, so when this main method runs, okay, and it looks for something called, uh, so basically JVM looks for something called main method, okay, to execute the Java code. Okay, without main method, Java cannot run the, so it was till the Java. So there are some features, okay? There are some features like till Java 8 or something, without the main method, okay, we cannot run the Java, okay? But there are latest features of the Java where we can even run without the main method also, okay? It will be something similar to the Python, okay? So so what is trying to print? So it is trying to print it is trying to print hello world. Okay. So when ja- Java is trying to run the compile, it is running going to run the code. It will look for the main method, and it will compile the. So what is mean the compilation? Compilation is nothing but it is trying to look for the errors. So whatever the code syntax you have written, right? So for example, so in order to execute the Java code, it has to be written first. You have to written the access modifier. You have to maintain the whether what is this, whether it's a static method or a or it is something called. So there are some two types of methods. Okay, there are static method, and when you can run actually the Java code using the object. Okay, so for example, if I have to compile this, right, I can compile this using in another class using a new keyword. Okay, so using a new keyword you can run this. Okay, so without new keyword, if you want to run this student class, you needed something called main method. Okay, or sorry, if I just go in other way, if if you want to call this main method, right, so in order to execute main method, okay, so main method, this is without giving, without creating a new keyword, right? So that's why it is needed something called a static method here. Okay, static keyword. Okay, so I'll tell you in, don't confuse. If I'm just confusing more, don't worry about that, just follow me. Okay, so when just Java sees this main method, okay, so what it does, it is trying to build the hello world, right? It executes, and first it will try to compile. So what is compilation is doing? Compilation is trying to find out, uh, do you have any execute compilation errors? Okay, it is first of all it is trying to look for the compilation errors. Okay, So what it does is, for example, if I just go here and uh, if I don't give it a static keyword, okay, and if I try to run this, so I can't even run. If you check on the fly, okay, this Java code is trying. I mean, it is compiled. It is giving me compilation error. Okay, if I just say static, right, again, okay, this gets saved, and if you check, right, I can execute this. 1 second. This is I have to. So maybe, okay, if you look into this, it has given me this error. Okay, when this compilation is succeeded, right, okay, if I knew, even if I remove this, I can't run. It is giving me some compilation error. Okay, if I close this and if I execute, okay, if I just remove this and I run it, right, it will give you the error. You can check that. It will give them some error here. So it says Java compilation failed. Okay. So basically, what this compilation runs is, compilation checks your code line by line. Is your syntax correct? Or is the keywords which is used for a Java, is it right keyword? Java right keyword. I mean, so it will basically look your syntactical things. Okay. First, so it is looking for the main method. It found the main method and then it is trying to print the whatever. I mean, basically whatever you want to try to print on the console, right? You can print it via the hello keyword. I mean, system.out.println. Okay. So now it prints the hello world to the screen. Okay. Now basically, I've told you, if I have to run, so there is something, there's one more class. Okay. For example, I will take student one more. So I'll change this class name and say student. Okay. So basically exist, right? So let me change this class name. So I'll say this class name as test. Okay, there are some uh, rules which you have to follow, which I'll tell you. Okay, so if I just rename this class name, refactor, rename. Okay, okay. Now the compilation has been gone. Okay, now you have changed the class name as test. Okay, so if basically what you will do, so you will, let's take an example of login. Okay, you can see login screen and on any pages, right? For example, whenever you're going to any Flipkart or you're going to any Amazon, right? So what it will ask you, it will ask you basically two things. What it will ask you, it will ask you for the username and password, right? So let me take this login class. Okay, so what I have to do, I will tell you what is this. Okay, so basically this private is a access modifier. Okay, string is nothing but, so this is nothing but a data type. I'll tell you when I proceed. Okay, data type, so data type is nothing but, now for example, you're giving name, what type of data you're trying to store. So basically you're trying to store string. So okay, okay, and there is something called, you what is the other thing, you have something called name and password. Password is also a string type. Okay, so when you are writing this, okay, so basically, you're saying private. Private is nothing but, so this is a this is a Java standard. Whenever you're writing one class, okay, what you have to do is you have to define the keyword with private. Now, what is mean by private? Private is nothing but you can access these fields within this class. Okay. Now you cannot. Okay, it is. I mean, what I mean to say is private is nothing but, for example, maybe I'm just trying to correct it. Okay, so private is nothing but, if you say private, right, you can use that private keyword, private method, or private keyword within the class. Okay, now if we have to use this private keyword outside the class is nothing but, if you have to use in this test method, test class. Okay, what you will do is, so basically you will define two methods. One is getter and setter methods. Okay, so what getter and setter will do,